The Exiled One, wrathful reaper, drinker of blood. The blood god Khorne has manifested many bloodthirsters as beacons of his rage, greater demons which share in his likeness and anger, but all are faithful servants and wouldn't dare face him in open rebellion. All but one. The bloodthirster Skarbrand was once the greatest of all of Khorne's demons, a true representation of his sire. Skarbrand spilt more blood and claimed more skulls than any other demon of Khorne, leading great hosts of demons against any enemy, be them mortal, demons of the other Chaos Gods, and anything in between. Long ago, when the other Chaos Gods had united against Khorne, it was Skarbrand who led the army known as the Eight Hosts of Murder against all odds, shattering their combined forces in the name of his sire, and becoming one of the greatest terrors within the realms of chaos, and even the strongest peoples in the Warhammer world feared his mighty roar. Naturally, Khorne had taken notice of Skarbrand's feats of strength, with the Bloodthirster becoming his favoured tool, granting him many boons and increasing his power over and over again. The Skull Throne's pile growing ever higher, with Skarbrand's power and ego unmatched by many. This, however, would prove to be his downfall. Obviously, the other Chaos Gods had been warring against each other for millennia, but it was rare to breach into the Blood God's realm so long as Skarbrand stood as its defender. Tzeentch, however, was biding his time. The more powerful Skarbrand became, the easier he would be to manipulate. Why should Skarbrand serve Khorne? Khorne does not actively take part in the battlefield as much as Skarbrand. Maybe Skarbrand should be the Blood God. All it would take is one act of rebellion, defeat him and take control. It did not take much to convince the Bloodthirster, even less so to make him think that those were his own thoughts. Within the Brass Citadel, Skarbrand readied himself to strike. Khorne's attention turned elsewhere, and his back was turned. The Bloodthirster took hold of his weapons and struck at his creator, a blow which would have destroyed cities and toppled even the thickest walls that Master Dwarf builders could ever construct. But what he hit was a being of pure rage, the very emotion of anger made manifest. No damage was done, barring the smallest chip to his brazen armor, but that was enough to make even the realms of chaos stop in pure silence for just a moment. Khorne's terrible fury turned to Skarbrand within seconds, grabbing the demon by the throat, cursing its name, and choking all personality from him. Skarbrand, who once led mighty armies, and was once Khorne's greatest general, now a husk of his former self. A bottomless pit of rage, devoid of any thought but killing. Khorne then, with Skarbrand still in hand, climbed up the Brass Citadel to its tallest tower, and flung Skarbrand deep into the realms of chaos. For 8 realms and nights, Skarbrand plummeted, a fiery comet of ill omen streaking across the unchanging sky. The impact of the Bloodthirster's landing gouged the canyon into the landscape and left his wings tattered and torn. Khorne had not stripped Skarbrand of his power, nor his weapons, Slaughter and Carnage, 2 magical axes, each containing the spirit of a Bloodthirster to further improve his strength. This is because, while he has been exiled, he may still serve a purpose. In his rage, Skarbrand now travels the mortal and immortal realms, where he treads only a path of death and destruction can be found. His mere presence can whip all those around into a killing frenzy. Enemies will fight harder, allies will turn on each other as the bloodlust reigns over the battlefield. You see, whether he knows it or not, Skarbrand still serves the Blood God. His mindless acts are still in servitude to the being who created him. Where over the many years since his exile began, he has spilt much blood, and many skulls have been claimed in Khorne's name. Still, he roams, alone in thought, as he no longer leads any armies, but has gathered many followers of Khornate demons, who keep their distance of course. But know that wherever he roams, there will be blood to follow. Skarbrand's path of destruction is very hard to follow, as it is incredibly random. The demon itself does not really plan out where he's going to attack, or pinpoint any target specifically, but instead travels around, sometimes being picked up by the winds of magic, and sometimes being summoned by, say for example, a Gracier. By accident, of course. That itself being one of the very, very rare few times that his summonings were documented, as the Gracier Thanquol had accidentally summoned the incredible Bloodthirster purely because one of the artifacts he was using had also a Mark of Khorne hidden within it. There was honestly no telling what could have appeared from that, but Skarbrand was linked up to it by some rare circumstance. At that time, the Skaven who were fighting the dwarfs at Karak Ankrul were caught unaware, as the raging Bloodthirster not only attacked the Skaven but the dwarfs too. Anything that fell in front of his path was obviously a skull to be claimed. He did eventually get banished back to the realms of chaos, but it wouldn't take long for him to reappear again, and even then we don't know exactly where in the realms he gets banished to, as obviously he has been banished by Khorne. It's almost as his ties to the realms and the mortal planes are very different to that of other Chaos demons. Skarbrand is obviously the legendary lord, or better yet said, the first legendary lord for the Khornate factions in Warhammer 3, and unfortunately there was not a lot of footage of him. But it has been confirmed that we will be getting some Khornate mechanic blogs very, very soon, so I figured it would be time to talk about the character, with as very little lore that he has. Keep in mind he has more in the 40k universe than he does in Warhammer Fantasy, and bring you up to speed with this very peculiar character. Again, I still don't know exactly why they picked him, as he was exiled, but hopefully that gets explored in the story of Warhammer 3. Now, what do you think about Skarbrand? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.